All right, it's 25 minutes before 8 here on Morning Live. Now, if you watch the program every January, you'll remember that hot on the heels of the excitement about our success of matriculants in the previous year, it's the head-scratching decision about how you're actually going to get through tertiary education. So, a group of young professionals calling themselves the Black Professional Student Fund, that's the Bpsf, have vowed to effect social change by contributing part of their earnings to fund promising young students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Well, joining us now is one of the founders of Bpsf, Tswelopele Tsotsotso, and their very first student from Tembisa, Tebogo Tibedi, who is, of course, a BCom accounting student at Wits University. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. It's good to have you on Morning Live.
Good morning, Leanne. Thanks for having us.
All right, so let me tell you before anything. So you're the man of the moment. That's what Tswela told me to tell you. You're the man of the moment at the moment, the first student, the first beneficiary of the scholarship. How's it going? I know you've just started, but how are you finding it?
I'm finding the course and the degree and the new experience at varsity, I'm finding it quite different.
Yeah?
I'm finding it quite different, but I think that looking at the people that I've seen make it, I can see that I can possibly very much make it.
You're motivated.
I'm very motivated, yeah.
I'm sure motivated more than anything.
Big
Being
role
the first, you
models
want to get out there and make a brilliant chance of this opportunity. So congrats to you. But I'm going to speak to you more about your life and leading up to this right now. But I mean, it's a good feeling for you as well. I mean, this has been going for 3 years. You finally have got these students into varsity now and studying and funding them. Where did the idea all come from, though?
So, Leanne, the idea started in university, and it's something that the founders as well as all the members in Bpsf saw was that, at university, you'd have instances where, students are academically gifted, but they don't have the financial means to further their studies, and as such they get financially excluded. And you'd also see instances where, students have a scholarship or a bursary, but they struggle to adapt with university life. And as such it becomes overwhelming, and they then get academically excluded. So seeing that, we felt that as young professionals it's important that we play a role in correcting this, and also especially seeing that a lot of us had bursaries and scholarships. We're very conscious of the fact that because of the financial aid that we received, we've been able to succeed in life, and it's important that we pay it forward, so to speak.
Yeah.
And in playing a role in this country, it's important that we give a financial opportunity to others so that they can also succeed and play a role in developing this great nation.
So you talk about the members of Bpsf. Who are they? Who is it made up of?
So anyone can be a member.
Yeah.
At the moment, the members that we have are young professionals, doctors, accountants, lawyers, engineers, guys in marketing. The gist of it is that it's really, young people who are passionate about education,
Yeah.
who are passionate about, giving back, their time, the little financial resources that they have, so that others can benefit from it.
And how did the funding go about? How did you get the money to get the likes of Tebogo into university?
So it's really a stockfell model almost. So the idea is that on a monthly basis, members of the fund contribute a nominal amount of 300 Rand into the account.
Okay.
And it is through the accumulation of those monthly contributions that we've been able to create the scholarships that we have. There is also an active pursuit to try and get a lot more corporate funding.
Yeah.
From a sustainability perspective. But ultimately, the heart of the funding, comes from the members personally.
That's amazing. So 300 Rand a month, the members of the Bpsf have now managed to, after 3 years, get their first 2 students into university and study. Now, okay, how did you become the one? What was it? I mean, how did you apply for it, and what was the process like to get this?
Actually, I was contacted by Tswelo and the team from Bpsf because I was on a previous scholarship in high school at St. Stephen's Boys College. So that SSP, it's called, is a funder bursary to Bpsf. So they contacted me through SSP because of seeing my results at school, and then they called me in for an interview, and I had to write a psychometric test.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I got to.
And that's how you got it, and that's how you qualified to do something like that. If it wasn't for this, I mean, were there options for you to go to university?
Yeah, I had applied to a lot of bursaries,
Okay.
As much as I possibly could, and I'd been offered a few bursaries, but they didn't cover as much as I would have liked them to.
Yes.
In terms of BPSF gives me the entire experience of they give me both mentorship and they cover my fees.
That's
so
amazing.
So that was the best option for me.
So that is so important. So you're almost like big brothers at the same time as funding these students of yours.
Correct. And I think it's important, Leanne, because what we're trying to do as an organization is we want to develop young leaders, and it's important that the likes of Tebogo, when they're still young and they're studying, that they start thinking outside of the box and start being conscious about South Africa, the economy, and the role that we as young people and as young professionals need to play in this country.
Yeah. You said there are 2 students. Tell me about the second student that's also been enrolled this year.
Sure. The second student is Trevor Martope.
Yeah.
He came through the student sponsorship program, and he's elected to study a law degree at the University of Johannesburg. He's from Vosloorus.
Yeah.
And we're also quite excited to have him on board.
That's incredible. So, it's 2 students now, but what is your aim? What would you like to see happening with BPSF?
Sure. The short-term goal is at the moment we're based in Gauteng. So, the students that we're funding have to study at university in Gauteng, and that's so that we can maintain, direct contact with them and facilitate the mentorship. Ideally, in the short term, we'd like BPSF to expand, outside of the borders of Gauteng.
Yeah.
Have members across, the entire country, have students being able to study anywhere within the country, knowing that, there's mentorship support, in all the respective provinces. But ultimately, we want to get to a point where we can fund as many students as possible. There's still a lot of students, in the country that are in dire need of financial aid. NSFAS, released a statistic earlier this year that plus minus 200,000 students qualify for financial aid. However, there aren't funds available for them. And that for us is quite a sad situation which needs to be reversed. So ideally in the long term, we don't want to be hearing stories like that, where you have students with potential that are excluded because they don't have the financial resources to do so.
Yeah. This kind of funding model that you have developed, is it different to how other funding models would work for university scholarships? For instance, would Tebogo have to pay this money back?
So there isn't a financial obligation for Tebogo to pay it back. There is, however, an expectation, and the expectation is the fact that, post Tebogo qualifying as a chartered accountant, we would like him to become a member of the Black Professional Scholarship Fund. And him becoming a member of the Black Professional Scholarship Fund, he would also then be requested to also contribute on a monthly basis. And in so doing, it's a principle of just paying it forward.
That's
The idea being that, we as young professionals provided a platform for you to further your studies, and we would like you to do the same for other individuals.
How does that make you feel? I know it's still your first year, and I know within your heart, I'm sure you're feeling like you just want to go out there, make a difference, and try as much as you can to change lives around you. But is that fundamentally what you would like to do?
Fundamentally, I said in my interview with BPSF when I was there that my values coincide with the BPSF vision, in that I come from a disadvantaged background, and so I would very much like to, when I'm qualified as a chartered accountant, and have some excess funds, to give back to the community just as BPSF has done for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's just a feeling you'd feel that you need to give back.
Yeah,
it's, you wouldn't necessarily be given these wonderful opportunities if it wasn't for this, and you would like to do it for someone else. And it's kind of a model that if we could develop, it could help so many people. And you're saying that this is open to anybody that wants to get involved. So how do you become a member of BPSF?
So, we've got a website, and the address for that is www.bpsf.co.za. And on our website, one would be able to see our email address, and anyone who's interested in becoming a member is more than welcome to email us, and we will then contact them and liaise with them as to how they can get involved as a member. So although the email address is on the website, the exact email address is getinvolved@bpsf.co.za.
Okay, get involved. So how many members currently?
At the moment, we have about 45 active members.
So
and
it's
growing.
45 of you that have, through the years, managed to entirely fund 2 university students or 2 students to get their degrees.
That's correct.
That's
correct.
amazing. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. This is fantastic. It's a wonderful story. It really is. And you are one. You can see this guy. I mean, he must have aced. He must have aced that exam. What did they do? Tell me, geometric testing.
Psychometric test.
Psychometric testing. Goodness me. That's never happened to me. I'm glad it never happened to me. But, that's fantastic. Well, listen, big things coming your way. It's amazing. We wish you the best of luck going forward. And if you can get involved, please do. 300 Rand a month is all it takes. And you can take some of the most unbelievable students in this country, give them an education so they can make a difference. And this trend will continue. Pay it forward. Love the idea. I think it's incredible. www.bpsf.co.za. It's been a pleasure to be chatting to Tswelopele Tsotsotso, who is the co-founder of BPSF, and Tebogo Tibedi, a BCom accounting student at Wits, who is the first beneficiary of this amazing fund. And I'm sure we'll be seeing lots more of you. All right, let's take a break. We'll see you after this.